Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. Julius Caesar, Act 3, Scene 3. This is a smaller scene as compared to Scene 1 and Scene 2, which were the most dramatic scenes. First, the assassination scene in Scene 1, and thereafter, the Mark Antony speech scene, in which he manages to convince the people of Rome and Italy by extension that Caesar had been wrong. Now, Scene 3, even though it's a short scene, it kind of tells us how it is playing out on the streets of Rome. That's what we will be looking at. So let's get directly into the scene. So scene 3, which takes place on a street of Rome. Now we see here, there is another character who is introduced, who is Cinna the poet. Okay, he's not Cinna, who is part of the conspirators, right? We have seen Cinna, Casca, Decius Brutus, Trebonius, apart from Brutus and Cassius himself. I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unlucky charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth. Now, what is he saying? He's saying, now, tonight essentially means last night, not tonight. Okay, that I had dinner with Caesar. I, ate a meal with Caesar. And things unlucky charge my fantasy. Charge my fantasy means fill my mind. So my mind is filled with things which are ominous, which are unlucky, which are not making me feel good at all. When I'm thinking about it, it's not making me feel good. I have no will. Will means desire. I have no wish, no desire to wander forth of doors. Means to venture outdoors. I have no desire to venture outdoors. However, something still leads me out. Something leads me out. Clear? Now the citizens, who are all kind of creating havoc on the streets, they enter. First citizen, what's your name? Second citizen, where are you going? Where do you dwell? Where do you stay? Saying, where do you stay? This is, where are you going? Fourth citizen, are you a married man or a bachelor? The second citizen, answer every question directly. Every man's question you need to answer, each one of us directly. First citizen, yes, and briefly, jaldi say, we don't have much time. Fourth citizen, and wisely means be wise while you are answering the question. Third citizen, and truly, you were best. You were best means, and be truthful, and be truthful. And be truthful if you know what is good for you. If you know what is good for you. Now, Cinna the poet, when he is bombarded with questions of this kind, he replies, what's my name? Where am I going? Where do I stay? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truthfully. Well, wisely, I say I'm a bachelor. Second citizen says, that's as much as to say they are fools that marry. You will bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed directly. The second citizen says, you are only highlighting the fact that you are a bachelor as if you want to convey that those who marry are fools. Okay, as though you are trying to convey that. And if you say that, you will get a blow from me. Means that I will hit you. Go on with what you were saying and say it directly. Cinna the poet says, directly, right now. This means right now. Right now, I am going to Caesar's funeral. First citizen, are you going there as a friend or as an enemy? Means, are you on the side of the conspirators? or are you on the other side who are against the conspirators? Cinna the poet says, I'm going there as Caesar's friend, which means I'm unhappy and sad that he was killed. Now, second citizen says, okay, good, you have answered that directly. Fourth citizen, for your dwelling, where do you stay? I stay near the capital, where the seat of power is. Then he says, your name, sir. Truthfully, you need to tell me your name. My name is Cinna. Tear him to pieces. He is a conspirator. So they get confused. Hota hai na, when there is a mob, when there are riots, anyone with similar names also get killed by mistake. You don't know the real identity. So he thinks that he's Cinna, who is part of the gang of conspirators. So they say, tear him to pieces, means kill him. He's a conspirator. He says, I'm Cinna the poet. I'm Cinna the poet. I'm not Cinna, one of the conspirators who may be part of, who is part of the entire gang as a senator or as one of the nobles of Rome. Fourth citizen, tear him for the bad verses, tear him for his bad verses. So he says, if he's a poet, tear him for the fact that he writes very bad poetry. He says, I'm not Cinna the conspirator. He says, it doesn't matter. His name is Cinna, pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him going. So he says, it does not matter. The fourth citizen says, it does not matter. The fact is that his name is Cinna. Rip only his name out of his heart and let him go. How would that be possible? That we want to punish the name. We want to punish the name because a man by this name is one of the conspirators. So we will punish the name by ripping his name out of his heart. The rest of his body can go. Third citizen says, tear him, come branch ho, firebrands. So the third citizen says, tear him, come firebrands. Let us go to Brutus, let us go to Cassius, burn all of them. Some of you go to Decius' house, some of you go to Casca's house, some of you go to Ligarius. Away go, and all of them exit the scene. This is what happens in this very brief scene. So it gives you a sense of the mobs that have now taken over Rome. They are kind of unleashing havoc on the streets of Rome. And this is as a result of the way Mark Antony has been able to talk and convince them that Caesar's murder, Caesar's assassination was a wrongful act committed by Brutus, Cassius, Cinna, Casca, Trebonius, everyone else. So these guys need to be punished is what the citizens have decided, and you realize that they are killing just about anyone out there. They're targeting people out there. It's very obvious that they may have killed some people before they came across Cinna the poet, and that's what they essentially do all out here. So they are out there, burn all. The burn all out here means they are completely, riots have broken out in that particular city. So with this brief scene, we have come to the end of Act 3 explanation videos. I hope all it's clear. Now we will move to Act 4, because Act 4 and 5 is about the clash that takes place between Brutus and Mark Antony. Okay, thank you very much. Tata, bye.